But by the way, I've been thinking about it. What if I take the shield to Chitagwenda? I don't know
No
what you guys think, but
way.
me, I think.
Come on.
What is
Because
in
now look,
Chitagwenda?
we were in fort. Now, when you leave fort like this on Kamwenje Road, before you know it, you're in Chitagwenda.
No, I think
I think in Chitagwenda we have very many things there. We have River Mpanga. We have an island there.
we love Chitagwenda. Chitagwenda gave us Mr. Vamos. It gave one of our players a beautiful wife, but come on.
Come on, we
The
can't.
Shield deserves better.
Unless you're
Because
saying
you guys-
that you're going to slaughter for us at least 3-5
No, but you
cows
guys were in
that we're
Chitagwenda
going to
recently.
come.
You know what's there.
I,
You have
think,
everything.
I think the Shield deserves better. If you think about it, this Shield is moving Chigali, it's moving all over the world.
Lord.
I think the last place it should go is Chitagwenda. No disrespect.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'll drink to that. It seems my district is Okawa, but anyway.
We love Chitagwenda though. Shout out to everyone in Chitagwenda.
There's actually a colleague of ours. Just the other day, he was inquiring because he's going to China and he wants to go with a shield. So I'm thinking that instead of you even having a thought about Chitagwenda, let's first have the shield flown to China.
Yeah.
Then
move around the Great Wall.
Yeah. Then at a later stage, maybe when we are thinking about defending it,
you can host us.
No, but I think by the time we're defending it, will be in South Africa because the road to South Africa has also started.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, because guys,
we missed out on traveling South Africa.
South Africa, yeah.
So this could be our opportunity.
And of course, we go there and we win it.
Sure.
Definitely.
So yeah, guys, welcome to yet another episode of Mr. Vamos Dissects. Because this episode is directly dedicated to TY Omujuma, the champions of the Ntare Lions League.
Exactly.
Of course, on set today, I will be having Museveni of the captains, Gerard Brian Paul. And then I will have the Pep Guardiola, the Eric Ten Hag, the Ralph Ragnick, the Ntare Lions League.
Yep.
Macheda. Macheda, do you have a real name?
My name is Abajo.
I don't know. Very few people would be able to tell you Macheda's name all throughout.
That's very true.
Because I can put my hand. If you get like 50-70% of the guys in the entire league and you tell them what's the name of that guy, national ID, I think they will just leave the league.
Yeah, that's very
I will agree with you because I know for a fact that if you ask even some of our classmates, they'll be like, "Oh, the only name we know is Macheda." So maybe women are the.
You're a ladies' man, I know, but you just had to put it out there. So I'm joined with two champions.
Yeah.
Recently, I got to find out I'm not a champion, but it's really okay to associate with champions. Maybe I might tap into the blessings. Yeah. So today we're just going to tell you, I think, what has been behind the scenes of TY.
Yeah.
Finally winning the shield that you can see there. The name tag below actually shows TY Omujuma. I don't think any of these guys dreamt about it after flattering to deceive for 2 seasons. So we want to I think these guys want to tell us how did they actually get to finally win the shield. Yeah. You come through to Ginger, Stone City, you lose. You come through to Chigali, some of you guys even take flights, you lose. And then now you're coming to Fort Portal.
Yeah.
Oyo is the king himself is there looking. I think the king was actually rooting for TY. Many of you saw that he was, because I think he felt pain. Yeah, you guys had the king worried he was in pain. Just that the king is a hard man, he can't be crying like that.
No, because we're playing the best soccer, so there's no way he could support
today we're going
to
help very many people know what actually transpires in the TY that very many of you don't know. We're going to get into the origin of TY. Where did this whole TY start from? Because of course, the Ntare Lions League is about like a brotherhood and everything. So where does TY start from? How do you come from losing season in, season out to finally winning? What are the dynamics? What did you do different? Maybe you might inspire teams that have been trying to get the shield. And the shield is still a rumor. You just hear about the shield in a rumor, yeah? So
my bros of Machando.
I didn't want to put anyone out here on set. Me, I'm just trying to remain in
the middle. They're our brothers.
But I guess we're probably surely rooting for Machando.
Come soon 16.
Yeah. Just in case you guys are new on the channel, please don't forget to like, subscribe. Don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. Yep. And let's just talk about football together, yeah? Because football has kept us going for very many years. Wouldn't be here without football, yeah? Yeah. So I think I'll probably start with Museveni, Captain MVP, Brian Paul. You'll probably tell us why you're the Museveni of the captaincy. Where does TY start from as a camp? Yeah.
Yeah, TY. You know, initially it wasn't even called TY Omujuma. So that name changed along the way. The idea, we started toying with the idea after a couple of seasons. You know, we were playing for, Duncan and I were playing for Shimba.
Shout out to Shimba.
Shimba. We played about 2 seasons before the Nambole season, which was the very first season that Omujuma played. I remember Nwajira came and told us, he started a group and told us, you know what, Nwajira and Alan, they say, guys, we need to start a team. Let's get a group. They pitch. So they ask people to nominate names. Everyone is going around the place with different names. You can imagine as people are being as wild as they can be. But then we settle. I think I pitch Omujuma. Alvin agrees with it. So we settle for.
Yeah, I've come to during those informal conversations. I was told that actually one of the people suggested Karere.
What?
And
thank God.
Chikantegans.
Thank God. But anyway, long story short, we start as SC Omujuma, Sports Club Omujuma. But as you will notice, along the way, we changed to TY. And the reason was, Alvin being the petty man that he is, he says, you know what? Ever since we named ourselves SC Omujuma, the entire league has, I don't know, we have like 6 SCs. So they pitched the idea once again, drop in the group. They're like, you know what? We need a new name. We need a new. What is it? Is that an acronym? It can't be an acronym. It can't be an acronym. Anyway, we need another thing to replace SC Omujuma.
Yeah. So, and not FC.
And not FC. Definitely not FC. So TY boys being the most creative people that they are. I believe it's Alvin. Alvin comes up with Team Yensi, TY. Ernest decides to call it Team Ya Nyoko. But anyway, long story short, we agree that we're not going to define it. We're not going to tell anyone what TY is. You will define it based on what you feel like you want to name it. So that's how TY starts. We start contributions. Very long story. Guys are not giving us money.
Season 1.
No, but I think Macheda, you can, the part of not giving us money, I think you can remember that struggle that was there.
Yeah. It was
I would say that, you see, what campus?
Yeah.
I remember I was at UCU, and the first person who gave me this whole idea about TY was Don, because Don was my classmate. So I was talking like, hey, okay. But you see, guys, what campus? Even getting 5 bob was a hassle. So so he asked me, I think the first season that when we competed, that was in season 6, 7?
I think 6.
Yeah, when TY competed.
Season 7.
Season 7. Because Don actually asked me, let's go and watch. Go to Nambole, and I'm okay. The first time I go, but then the next time I don't have transport to go back, because I was thinking about, go eat, come back. Yeah. So, but one of the things that I am very proud of is that even when there were struggles of you don't have money for transport or contribution, but guys would always come in. But also we had guys in the other teams, guys who kept on coming in for us. Boyne, Aloriza. Even at some point, Mose of Machando.
Shout out to all those guys that made that dream.
You see, they would come in and chip in for us, man.
You know what's funny? We did not know Aroriza at some point. So we are there struggling with league fees, everything is left, right, center. Someone comes and tells us, there's someone from Bonshe that paid your balance of league fees. They're like, someone from Bonshe? We hadn't met the guy. None of us knew him.
None of us knew the guy, no.
So, of course, Nwajira, Alan, they go looking for this guy. Who is this guy from Bonshe? That's how we get to meet Aroriza and
yes.
Our patron, our incoming patron, right?
Yeah, TY, yes. Yeah. Without a doubt. I must say that he's happy that the shield is finally home.
Yeah.
So I think it's a major shout outs to I can vividly remember Mose Machando.
Yeah. 100%.
I remember Mboine, like you said, the Kashoro guys, all those guys were having our back.
People like
remember
Job, even Ainemo.
The entire Kashoro camp.
Basically, the Kashoro camp was something. It must be written somewhere in case President Pato is writing one of those writings of his. I'm sure he's going to use some bomboclatic words instead of talk about them, because those guys are the reason why we probably got the chance to play.
Yeah, we are who we are.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I don't know. And then, of course, I think your first season is Nambole. That's like the first major season.
And you know what's funny about Nambole? Like, like Abajo has mentioned, Macheda, that season we actually competed.
Yeah,
Regardless of constraints of financial constraints and constraints here and there, players not being available, we did compete that season. I think some of my highlights are, yes, we finished fourth. There's a game we played against Abazibo. It ended 6-3. So we all arrived late.
Yeah.
It ended around, I think, 4-3, something like that. 4-3. We arrived late.
Isn't that a season when Alan and Nyevesa are selling?
Yeah.
They were selling
decided
meat.
to sell.
The entrepreneurs of the time, Bombeka.
Yeah. Once again,
Stipo.
Yeah.
So we play a game. We arrived very late. I remember by the time we got into the pitch to become full 10 people, the game was already 3-0. So we come from behind, Philo scores for us some goals there. It's 3-3, and in the heat of the moment, of course, we have courage. It's playing. We have Gringo in goal. Come on, there's no way we're winning the game. So we consider late goal. It ends 4-3, but it was an interesting season. I think we competed. But we competed with I don't want to call them what they are, but we competed with guys who are not really players.
With Biets.
Now, if we're talking about what was my highlight, I remember that day we were playing against Kachanchali. That day it as if rained a bit. Now, of course, getting guys from Mok, Chambogo, UCU became a tricky paper. And now we're waiting for messages. The league going to take place?
Yeah.
Are we going to play? At 11 a.m. midday, they're like, the league is going to take place. We're not going to postpone. TY is now playing Omujuma. I remember that time I was leaving Chambogo with Osbat Akatwijuka.
Yeah.
I get Osbat, we get to Nambole. That day we played Kachanchali, a manless. Yeah. But then one thing that you guys don't know about Owen, that is Pema's master, is that Owen was the only player in TY who we couldn't play without.
That's very true.
Yeah.
I remember in Nambole we used to come from the stands. And then we walk down. Owen would tell us, Bagay, nakwataka board, I'm coming. We're like, okay, let's first be putting on shoes now. When Owen would tell us that I've now reached Chireka, now we would begin as if putting on stockings. What? We organize ourselves.
Buying some time.
By the time Owen tells us, you guys, I'm turning Nambole, we get onto the pitch. Because Owen did everything that a player would do inside that one. Now, against Kachanchali, we were manless. Owen scored a hat-trick. And this is not a normal hat-trick.
Yeah.
Owen scored a flying header. Owen scored a bicycle.
Long range.
Then Owen scored a goal from like the center.
Long range.
Long story short, that game ended 3-2 in our favor, and we were manless.
That is so true.
And now, when I remember what Owen did that season, it's like now.
Dang.
I think for the longest time, but the only thing I can say, man, you guys fear women,
fear this,
alcohol.
Honestly, Owen for the longest time was our best player,
yes.
And by far. So, Owen used to work up country in that Nambole season.
Yes.
No, he used to work in Kampala, but he had a lot of gigs he was doing.
Yeah, but also he was playing in big league at that time.
Yes.
At that time he was playing in big league, so
he was so fit.
Yeah, he was. I must say that in the league, he was among the fittest people. Because I remember before even I started coming to the league, Owen would post on his Facebook.
Yeah.
You'd see his posts. Nambole, what. Yeah.
No, but yeah, like I was saying, you're right. He was working a lot of gigs up country. So he would travel the night. Saturday night would be his night of traveling back. So majority of the times you'd see him on a border. It's because he has reached Kampala and now he's straight up getting onto a judge before going home.
Yeah, actually,
he would always have a heavy bag majority of the time.
Yeah, actually sometimes he would be coming from those big league up country matches. Just to make sure that he turns up for Omujuma. Yeah, for Omujuma.
And boy, oh boy, he shot balls. we used to make him play everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like everyone, you can do whatever you want.
8, 6, 10.
Score from number 2, score from number 3, shoot from the center, shoot from the goal.
Now, you remember that story that Steve said on the Echoes, NLL Echoes, shout out to you guys as well. Steve said that the goal he scored at Kacheka, he was in the air before the goal entered.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that Owen did that at Nambole.
Yeah.
At the time at Nambole, Owen crossed the ball. And he met it.
He found it himself.
What kind of rubbish is this?
Owen walked, so that meant like Nwajira should run.
So I agree. Nwajira should actually, in everything that Nwajira does,
too.
he should be crediting Owen for all the sports that he played, maybe.
But by the way, and you see the thing is, people might think you're exaggerating, but I do remember vividly a number of times where Owen, and you see he had technique. So he would get the ball, if he hits it high enough, you can trust that he will sprint and reach there before.
Yeah, you see, at that
either
time,
win the second ball or win the ball.
Yes, you see, at that time, he was very fit.
Yeah.
The extent that, you see, Owen is one of the people that he believes in himself.
Yeah.
So at that time, because he was fit, he knew that everything he desired to do, you'd actually do it.
Yeah.
Cross the ball, find it in the box and score.
Score.
That was him.
Yeah.
So now back to the main.
Yeah.
So now Omujuma gets into the league.
Yeah.
Tell us about the guys that you are wearing. I remember you guys were putting on a certain jersey. Where does the concept start from? And now before we begin this whole thing, like you said, you had the conversation of we're determining names and all that.
Yeah.
How do you start like getting to the league and playing games? With, of course, by then none of us knew Avak as such, because of course, even if we thought about him, we're never going to have that muscle to maybe buy a jersey and stuff. So tell us, who are your sleeves? Who are your guys on the jersey? Where do they get inspired to trust Omujuma, whatever the heck that means?
Yeah. We were so lucky to have one of our very own, Manzi.
Manzi.
Manzi. I think around that time he was trying out his career in fashion and design and all this stuff. So he had I think I wouldn't say a company, but he had an entity called Jumavan Kotoa. Kocha, whatever the pronunciation is. So Manzi sponsors us with a jersey. And we have crazy discounts for the jersey.
No, but also remember how that jersey comes in.
Yeah.
We're starting the match, but they were printing that jersey that early morning.
Yeah, that jersey must have been in the morning.
Yes, because when they bring some pieces, some guys are like, man, this jersey, these things are hot.
That's crazy. But that was so dope. Manzi, shout out to Manzi. Manzi sponsored us. Those jerseys were at a heavy discount. I think you had like 15k for a shirt and the short.
Yeah.
So you'll notice majority of the guys who bought kits that time, the Jumavan had the full kit.
Actually, wasn't it selling to individuals at
individuals?
10.
I don't remember. The only thing I remember is that I got my jersey.
Yeah.
But it was hot.
But it was a nice jersey.
Yeah.
It was a very nice jersey. I see sometimes Dunk and Rock.
I still have my jersey.
Yeah.
It was a very beautiful jersey. So we get a jersey. We're looking good. We're very ready to attack the season. But once again, we get the realities of the league itself.
Of the league,
You can't compete without your people, and your people can only be there when they are financially able to.
Yeah,
but one thing I also remember in the league, another thing from that Nambole season was, I think Mankalele has been our team,
Yeah.
Has been our team.
It really has.
Because I remember the very first time Disease, the match winner of the season in Fort, the very first time Disease came to play for TY. We're playing from Nambole at the back.
Yeah.
That stadium at the back where there's netball.
The outside pitch.
It drained properly.
Yeah.
Come on, Disease. He's not played a game for us before. But Disease.
Rasta
has this thing of
it's Kalere.
You have to beat these boys. These are the kids that.
And you know what's crazy? When we're pitching the idea to them to make sure they turn up, because that day we had a turn up like never before.
Yes.
When we're pitching the idea to them, calling the diseases and asking them to come, our point was Kalere is competing, and it's going to play a final. If you people don't
by then
show
Kalere
up.
was the thing number 2.
It must have been number 2 around that time.
Yeah, number.
So we called this
at that time.
At that time,
finished
not
third or
it
fourth.
finished third. I think 4th or 5th around there.
There we dropped a few points.
Yeah. So we tell them, guys, you know what? Kalere is going to play a final. It's going to win the shield. At that time, it wasn't even a shield. It's going to win whatever the trophy it is that NLL has.
At the time.
Oh God, we had such a crazy turn up. It drizzled that day, but that's one of the days that we had the biggest numbers.
Yeah.
Disease turns up, Gaddafi turns up. Disease assists, Gaddafi taps the ball into the back of the net, and Disease scores
the goal.
And Disease
to end the game 2-0.
He began this nonsense of his of running.
Running up to the road.
He made us run the entire Nambole.
Very nonsense, man. Very
crazy.
So I think that Nambole season must have been like the starts of like TY as a unit and all that. And then, of course, after now the Nambole season. Yeah. So now, my main focus is how do you guys think about?
So what you're forgetting is that we don't play the next season.
I've forgotten that.
Yeah. After the first season, we don't play the next season because we didn't have league fees.
Yeah.
True.
And there's some elder who had actually paid almost half of our league fees, but we failed to raise
the other half. Campus, guys.
Yes. So we failed to play the next season.
Yeah.
So that is a season where guys move. Kagezi, MVP, they move.
Of course, as always, we go back to Shimba.
You go back to Shimba.
Very loyal people, despite all offers that were coming through. We go back to Shimba. I think a decent number of our guys go to Abashwechi,
Yusuf, Owen.
So wait, Yusuf also won the shield with Abashwechi.
By the way,
he did.
There's something that I need to talk about Yusuf. You see, when we were at UCU, we have very many people.
Yeah.
Henry, Donald, Kevin,
Yeah.
Abraham, many of us.
Mm.
But I'll tell you that Yusuf was the only one who could ably afford
To show up
to show up
to Nambole.
to Nambole. Game week, game out.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's because he's the old person in TY.
Are you trying to say that Yusuf is older and all of that?
If you remember very well,
Yeah.
that commentary, the other time I was trying to watch the game,
Yeah.
and someone described Yusuf as the oldest guy in TY.
Yeah.
But for some reason,
No, Yusuf had ability.
yes,
Ability.
Yusuf was the only one who could ably afford to come in from Mukono to Nambo or wherever the league was.
Yeah.
He would show up.
Yeah.
And I think he's one of the people that actually inspired many of us to save whatever you can
and just show up.
Welcome to Navisere Hotel, where comfort and luxury come together in perfect harmony. Enjoy your stay in our comfortable rooms equipped with soft beds, DSTV, Wi-Fi, and a full range of other amenities to make your stay with us truly unforgettable. Get to use our modern conference room for meetings, workshops, special events, and receptions, accommodating up to 100 participants. Eat continental, local cuisine, and as well as charcoal grilled delicacies at our restaurant, where every meal truly comes from the heart. Find a wide range of drinks, including wines, spirits, champagne, and cocktails at our bar, where you can unwind and relax with friends and family. Our gardens have a secure parking lot and are suitable for a variety of functions like weddings, parties, and entertainment events, making us the perfect venue for any occasion. Wind up the day in our health club, which offers sauna and steam bath as complimentary services for our residents, helping you to relax and rejuvenate. At Naviserio Hotel, our prices are reasonable and we offer value for money, making us the perfect choice for your next stay. Contact us.
So by the way, today we are chilling at E Club, Chambogo. I think you can come to E Club to have your graduation parties, birthday parties. Even the guys that want to mourn from here or something, you can come through, drink some liquor here. Remember, grieve maybe about some of the losses that you've had. Drink it up.
Karere Guns.
Kalele Guns, you can come through here. The environment is actually conducive, as you can see. There's even a guy that stops rain from here. So if you want to have like a party here without like rain and what, there's a guy who touches it for like 2 hours or so.
We actually used him, and we will highly recommend his services.
Highly recommend these
It was
services.
threatening to rain around morning, but
Yeah.
clearly.
But then just because you're working with a guy that has a few things here and there, so you can come to E Club Chambogo, take a few beers here, celebrate, watch a few matches.
Cheers.
You can also go to E Club Nabisere. That's where like the mother branch is. Take your vacation there, guys who are going on honeymoon, guys who are going to like chill. You've ever worked in Kampala, the one has refused to be caught. Just go and beat a chill from there and then see what happens.
Oh, you finally won a shield after 3 years of trying.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Could up to relax here.
Yeah. But I've seen you with a gold medal, by the way. I don't know.
most def.
Don't
You
know,
know,
I don't
everywhere I go, last night I was when I was showering, I noticed I have this medal on. I'm like, Brian, is this how far you've gone? But then another part of me told me this has been 3 years. 3 years of your life have been dedicated towards getting this amazing piece. Once again, by the way, this was such a beautiful medal.
Very, very
Yeah.
Compared
beautiful medal.
to the other medals we received, I know there have been silver medals, but
This
this was
This
a
medal was
beautiful
different.
medal. Shout out to the entire NLL committee and everyone who organized this final.
Yeah, these
Very
were
beautiful medal.
they were specifically manufactured by Industrial Colors.
Yes, I saw their post on
Yeah,
Twitter recently. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful.
So I've not taken this thing off my body ever since Fort Poto. And I'm not about to.
No, I mean,
Everywhere I go,
Wait,
everything
not even
I
your woman has
partake
asked you to take it off.
I just said everywhere I go, everything I partake in. Whatever way you decide to interpret that.
and then shout outs to the real bad man for giving us an anthem, the TY anthem. What's his name again?
Ambroy.
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 Very
Hey.
big tune, you guys.
What a song.
I think you guys need to listen to Ambroy, and everyone that is like their manager of. So you guys need to listen to that music. Ambroy.
TY
I think
agenda noir.
everything came around full circle
Yeah.
We've always been big Ambre fans as
Yes,
TY,
yes, yes.
even before you joined our camp. So if you go and look at our seasons, I think that very first time we topped the table going to
Ginger?
Yeah,
Yes.
the time when Kateba stood on
Yeah.
the table and all that. I think
Exactly.
you guys did an
We
Ambroid
did
song in the
Ambroid
parking
song.
lot.
Yeah, in the
It
parking,
was
yeah.
a new song. Yeah, just released it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We've
by
always been big
So
Ambroid
in theory,
fans.
guys, if we come for Ambro, you guys, no hate. I think this bad man knows what he's doing. A
Yeah.
big man. I think Bowman is also actually in the same. Bowman is a Kalele guy, but the music is up
Yeah.
there.
Of
Well
So
done,
course.
guys. Well
shout outs
done.
to you as well.
Top music.
And of course, shout outs
Everything
to
from
Disease for
the
making these
big
guys.
man team. That's what the brand is called. Big man team.
Manting.
Very
Hey.
beautiful. Pyong. Shout out to everyone at Pyong.
Pyong City?
You get to Pyong City as well. You get to Pyong City. Of course, my guy Disease is going to be cooking a lot of stuff there. There's a vibe, there's a system, there's a party. I don't know what you guys are missing, but I think the league is cooking. I think
Yeah.
for me,
A lot.
it would just be. I think the entire league is like a very, 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 very big thing to be a part of.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think all the stakeholders and everyone that's making it happen, shout out to you guys, because
Yeah.
I don't think we'd be talking about all these things if whoever came out with the idea didn't. Because I think the kids, very many people are talking about Macheda going to school to pick kids from there. I think the guy has a Gambano at the school with the admission list.
Yep.
Gets a kid that actually joins the school and is like,
No.
number 9, I want that kid.
Yeah, because that's what the league has actually done. I remember, if you recall very well, the two finals where we had the finale in school, then in Kacheka.
Yeah.
These kids saw what Ntare League is, the vibe that it came with.
Yeah.
I'll shout out to share what they did
Actually, I did
that
something
season.
very, very, very massive.
Because
Like
those
that
kids still speak
About that.
about Ntare League.
True.
They are motivated. For example, we have kids in VAC right now. They
Yeah.
are collecting league fees to
True.
join
True.
in VAC.
Akachai.
Akachai. So
True.
that clearly means that it shows you how much the league has gone and how much it inspires each and everyone, even those that are still at school. I was actually told that even those that are in senior 6, they already have a team.
Yeah.
So you can see what that means. So that means that in what we do, however small we might look at it, but we are inspiring many of them to come and be part of this big community. We have already said the football is just one that brings us together.
True.
But the bigger thing is coming together for business, for jobs, for the networking bit of where you are able to benefit. Not just the pitch thing is just, like I've already said, it's just a vehicle. You use it to take it to where we want to go. And of course, where we want to go is just to network.
Is true. I don't know how true it is, but because I can tell you, our lives before this very amazing piece of wood in front of you were very different.
Yeah.
I know the league is about networking, but I think in anything, as long as there's competition, there will always be networking, but people won't lose sight of what in their minds is the big picture. So once you win this shield, you can comfortably say the league is for networking and it's a vehicle. But before you have this amazing piece of wood, man, the league is about this thing.
Yeah, to the extent that before winning this shield, I think the only thing that we've not won is a fair play award, because we have won everything. Chess, 2-time chess champions.
And you see something that people ignore is we're not just 2-time. For the longest time, we were 2-time and only chess champions until last season. When the inside we were the social media and 2-time.
2-time.
Before anyone won.
Yeah.
As it stands right now, we're the only champions of Crichton Cup. Who were the first champions of the social media.
Inaugural.
Oh, God.
So, inaugural champions of the chess championship. So, really.
So, I think in all this, I think we pick at a few things from Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders won it all. Budo League, shout out to you guys.
Won it all. They did.
And of course, I'm thinking we probably shout out to all our cohort, like the 09-14 coalition.
Yeah, 09-14.
Very supportive.
They've been pushing TY.
Yeah.
Of course, Knights in the J League.
Yeah.
It's Uptown Pirates, Shark League.
Yeah.
There is Vikings, Smack League.
Rugabo, Chapa League.
Peaky Blinders.
Budo League, man.
They've supported us, I think, all the way.
Yeah.
All the finals.
All the finals.
Good number of them going to Chigali.
Yeah, they've been in Ginger, Chigali. Man. Big numbers. For example, Timo's brother.
Yeah.
Edwin.
Shut up.
Yeah. It's been dope. It's been dope, honestly. Such a good
So
feeling.
away from that, I think we get back to the point where TY
Yeah.
has failed to participate in the league.
Mm.
They've contributed money for them.
Yeah.
They can't
They've
raise the
contributed for
rest.
them carry half.
Yeah.
They've told you TY, bring another half. Mwanoga. Yeah, because of
Kasente.
factors that were beyond your control.
Yeah.
So now TY comes back.
Yeah.
Remember, TY comes back. TY comes back into the league. That
Games
season,
Cambridge.
Games Cambridge again.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the season we're putting on X Effect.
X Effect.
Yes.
Shout out
Yes.
to X Effect branding company that put in us the money. I remember
Actually,
also putting on that.
the guy of X Effect is the one of Komodo.
Komodo,
Oh,
the guy who
beautiful,
did this
beautiful.
kit.
Yeah, he's the one who did
Yeah.
this
I'll talk
beautiful
about this
emoji.
Komodo later, but whoever made
Amazing.
this Komodo,
Such a
you're
beautiful
the guy.
cat.
You
And the
are
foot soldier.
guy.
The foot soldier, the
So
overall.
Komodo,
Very beautiful.
you're the
Komodo,
guy.
yeah. He's the man for
major
the
shout
job,
outs
man.
to you guys because I think this TY side looked very beautiful on the
Yeah.
onset and outset of Fort Porto.
That's true.
Very beautiful thing. Keep up the thing that you're doing. Yeah.
Yep.
So now TY comes back that season, puts an X Effect.
Yeah.
I'll hand it over to you, Brian.
Yep.
Is that the season where you guys decimated Kalele?
That's the season for the famous. I really wanted to put on that chart, but just that this is such a beautiful work of art from Avak. I decided, you know what, I won't put it on today. But that's the season, the famous season, 12-1 against Kalele.
And then you're the reason as to why you couldn't hit them more than 12.
You know, I've always had I think, like Kalele guys are our guys in one way or another. So
yeah, they're bros.
I felt that at some point in the game, I was like, 12 goals are enough. Please, we can't score anymore.
But the truth is that we shall
enough.
forever blame you for not for
So what did you
asking
guys
us.
want? You wanted the game to end 25-1 or something like that.
No, history is a very big thing. History is really now
Yeah.
TY you guys were about to make history.
Yeah. Oh, why
So
this
that's
close?
saying history is very key. That's why when watching the Premier League, they're like, these guys have not beaten this team for 40 years.
For 40 years, yeah.
You see,
I really
they will
regret
always remember. They will always remember.
Before we won in Fort Porto, I regretted that decision. I was like, I wish we scored 40 goals. But after winning Fort Porto, my heart is at peace. It was the right decision. There was no reason to punish the young men.
Yeah, but well, we networked, we had fun.
We had fun, we had a good time. And of course, the only one goal was scored by Pema. So we're going to make an adjustment to the jersey.
Yeah,
That 12-1, we'll make sure we show that.
that was
Pema
before,
won the
I think
squad.
that was before he began twerking and all that. Sorry for another day. So you guys go out into that season. You're rocking an X Effect. You low key compete. Is that the season where you're third last?
No.
No, that's not a season.
It's a lot later.
Yeah.
That season, it was a fairly decent season. We finished around 7.
Yeah.
Once again, you know, our problem has always been turn up for different reasons. So that season, we did not have the most prolific goal scorer this league has ever seen. There is one man, a machine. You will bring everyone you want, but there is one machine in this league. He had never stayed.
So, as I still saying, I just want to know where does TY begin to probably compete for the Shield, aside from the vibes and inshallah. What's that thing that makes you guys know that, okay, now we want to win this? We want to get that wooden thing.
Season 12, there in the middle, when Steve-O and Alan and MVP engaged me that, guys, I think we can do this. That was after we had won some matches. And it's there that I decide that I tell them that as long as you guys can let me make the decisions that are in the best interest of the team, that is in season 12. Because that's the time where we change Yusuf from playing wing to playing in defense.
Number 7.
Then he starts playing number 3. Then I ask Owen to play number 2. Yes, I know the two were not happy at all.
Our number goat playing
Yeah.
number 2.
Owen and Yusuf were not happy for a long time, even up to now, even if you ask them, but they said they're going to take this for the team. So the reorganization that we took at the time, because I think in one or the other we lacked strategic leadership in as far as football matters were concerned. But then after we put together a football committee group, and then everyone knows what they should be doing, because the main leadership of the team, what they ask me is, the decisions that you take are entirely yours. So when I ask Owen Yusuf to play in defense, Kateba was playing in the middle, then I ask Kateba, you are a defender, he comes back in defense.
Kateba was Rodri. My goodness.
Then I ask Boaz. Then I ask Boaz, you cannot play in defense. You no longer have the energy to play in defense because one, as we know, come drunk, high. There's no way you could trust him with our defense. I ask him to come back in the middle because
and he's also very composed. He plays. He
knows
how to play the ball. He loves to play the ball.
Thank you.
So I don't think it works very well.
Yes.
In a Sunday
And at the time, I think, not that I think, but Boaz had the ability to receive the ball
and play
it others, and that's the thing that we wanted to do as a team, because when you have Mugerwa, you have any other person in the middle, Boaz, Duncan, that means that you'd be able to have the ball. To pass the ball. Because one of the most important things, the reason as to why we asked Boaz to come into the middle was we wanted to create as many ball playing players as possible in the forwards, that even when the defenders can just kick about the ball, but we can have people who are able to play pass, and then and I think that's one of the things that changed us then. Asking the goal to get into the goals, because Alan, may his soul rest in eternal peace. We told him concentrate on other things, but
mobilize us.
But let's try to.
You know what's surprising though about Alan is I always told him this. In general, he wasn't that good, like as a keeper. Like he would score him from miles away.
Yes.
If a guy breaks through and it's a one-on-one,
he was actually
so good. There are some games we played.
1v1, like, he was good.
There's a game we played against Abazibu sometime. We lost the game 2-1. He was man of the match that game. I promise he saved like 6 one-on-ones in that game.
He
was so good in one-on-one because I think his footballing brain was there.
No, I think
that thing of the body is winning, but
yes,
they are.
No, but
when you come close, it's mostly his footballing brain at work. So he knew where to be. He knew how to spread himself out wide.
But I think one thing about him was about focus. When we didn't have the ball, Alan, when we had the ball, Alan would lose focus because he would be comfortable that we have. And then all of a sudden, those shots that would come from very far,
just dropping.
So
I remember Alan when we were at Kings Park Arena, the time when the goal came to the goal. I think by that time you guys had told Alan that, you know what, Boroch, stay free.
There's a picture, a very famous picture. That picture where they're sending jerseys. That's the day we officially gave up. And we're like,
so now when you
we've had enough.
The goal
Let's see what the beast can do for us.
Midfield maestro, like you said. The goal, TY versus Inshira. That guy in Inshira, SF.
That
guy he launched a rocket. That rocket ended the goalkeeping career for TY.
No, but it's very understandable. Let me tell you something. Before we played the game against Inshira, Kateba always had an afro. He had an afro.
But he went and cut his
hair. They kicked the ball. We headed it away. It landed onto SF's leg. He shot a ball so hard that from that day, Kateba has a bald head. It passed through Kateva's head and we could not believe it. The ball was so strong, it just went with everything along its path.
Yes.
What with Kateva's hair? Kateva no longer has hair because of SF. I'm telling you. I watched that thing with my 2 eyes. First of all, you could not see it in real time very well. It just felt like something very strong has passed by you.
The only thing I can remember about that goal was that
was such a strike.
The goal declared that he would only play Boyas games after that game.
Yes,
The strike was so hard.
yes, but
No one said anything. We just picked the ball and went back to the center and left our brother Kateba with his bald head there.
yes, but then, after that game, I also told Dago that there is no way you're giving up on us. So he continued as our goalkeeper for season 12.
Yeah.
And I would say that we conceded many goals that season. I think we conceded about 30 something goals, but we were scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit about that.
So we're doing the Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
We're scoring, but then conceding goals. Yeah, but then, but I would say that season 12 is what changed the trajectory of TY Omujuma.
Yeah. And I think also season 12 is now the final is played in Bara. Then now the stemma happens.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
so I think take us to that whole stemma. But just before we continue, at least for very many of you that know Stemma Farm or that don't know Stemma Farm, I think Stemma Farm is owned by one of us, Mbaga Rodney. It's in Shema. Very beautiful place.
Yeah.
Very
nice.
nice
It
place.
has everything: fish, rabbits.
Everything.
The rabbit meat there is top notch.
Oh,
That's the
God,
first.
oh God. God's meat.
I think the only time I've been to Stemma, it's the first time I've eaten rabbit meat in my life. So the only thing I know about the rabbit meat is that it's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gone to places around Kampala and all that, but that rabbit meat will not hit the rabbit meat that's at Stemma.
Yeah.
Just to tell, just to inform our viewers, is that Stemma has accommodation facilities. If you
do a honeymoon there.
yes, you can do your honeymoon from there. You can do your weekend staycation from there.
True.
You can go when you want to go move into the farm, check
Yeah.
out how cows look like. I know
Yeah.
some of us maybe have not lived or stayed with
Yeah,
cows,
boy.
Yeah.
goats, rabbits, everything that you want on a farm.
Stemma Farm, sure.
I think
There was-
some of our brothers need to
Yeah.
need to listen to you.
Yeah.
Men like Chairman Patrick,
Chairman
people
Patrick,
like
yeah.
Steve-O,
Now,
President Kasheka. Like, Stemma is the place that
It's
could
the
do the
place, it's the
magic.
place,
I
it's
think
the
Kasheka
place.
We'll stop
now
asking you that question.
No, there's
We'll stop asking
President
you that
Kasheka.
question. Yeah.
Bino Brian.
Yes. Bino Brian.
These are people that
Please.
we look up to.
You
They
need Stemma. You need
Yeah.
Stemma
Just,
in your life.
just have
That's
Stemma.
all
and-
you need.
Yeah.
They need to, I think
A
everything will
staycation
work
at
from there.
Stemma and you'll relax.
And
You'll
everything
be
is going to
asking
All
change.
the questions they ask him during Christmas.
Because I will tell you that everything for TY changed at Stemma. The
Yeah.
extent that we refer it to the Stemma Declaration, because it's a time when we declared that TY is going to compete.
Officially.
That is after when Mbaga Rodney and Stemma Farm had hosted us. I do not remember the number of goats that we slaughtered, the number of rabbits that we slaughtered.
But I also think
Then the
there's something you're
chicken.
missing out on.
No, I think
It's the
fair
day
to
that
say-
we officially figured out who you are.
yeah,
as a human being.
potential as
Your potential as a human
aside
being.
from a coach,
Your,
but your talent
your talent outside there.
on the side.
Because you always look like someone who has empathy, you
Looked
feel for
very
animals,
docile.
animal rights. But what you did
My
to that dog,
It's a dog, a rabbit.
there's a dog that was seated right there looking at him, having all the fun with that rabbit biting right through into that meat.
To the extent that it has been made a sticker.
yeah, it is a
guys.
sticker now, a full-time sticker.
No, but I think before you even proceed, I'll credit you for giving the league very many stickers. You know, in one of the questions I'll ask, one of the questions that I envisaged for you is like, who inspires you? Because there's a time we were playing a game against, I think, Jabulani, and you moved on that touchline. I think on that touchline you ran even more than linesmen in like a normal game. The other was playing a game, and I asked the linesman, why do you run very fast like that? But then I remembered back home,
I have a guy.
I have a coach who can run faster than a linesman.
Yeah.
And then there's all these theatrics. And I'm like,
And you know the thing
what's
about
the problem?
Macheda?
What's going
Macheda,
on?
everyone at TY knows. Macheda has
going on?
lifetime subscription to Tias. Matia. But he never gains weight. What is the secret?
Yeah, you're talking about shout outs to Tias as well. But yeah, I think
Other material
everyone-
to it too.
for everyone at TY, if you've not been to Matias, then I don't know what you're missing out. But I think aside from that Stemma declaration, I think Matia also has a case.
Yeah,
He has
in our success.
he has something to put inside there, because now, of course, when we get to Clayton Group of Companies, another sponsor of TY Omujuma, that's where the late Alan was working, and then of course Bonki, who is like the CEO inside there. Of course, all your architecture works and all your
Yeah.
engineering and designs and
Very
everything. I
dope
think
guy.
for Brian, I remember you declared that you want to get married next year. I think maybe you
Inshallah.
probably look
I
into
don't-
those guys to give you an architectural design about
think-
like your house or something.
I
But
think so. Now that I have this, I think I can now
I
have the
think
love
married-
of my life.
because
It's been a long time coming.
ever since Fido got
I'll win
married,
it. Yeah.
ever since
actually.
Fido got married, I think everything changes.
No, anyway,
Everything
maybe
changes.
maybe we're going
They
to talk
say
about
he who
Philo
finds a
and a
wife
season.
finds a good thing.
No, maybe it's going to come.
So I think first let's not first cut these things like this. I think let's first finish the stem and then we see, because now the Fido story
It's a dinner one.
is written in the stars.
Yeah, so Stemma, we go there. We, as TY, we took a Costa.
Yeah.
We went with a Costa of 30 people. Thereabout. Thereabout. So, and we said that from Stemma, we are going to, or from Mbarara, Sunday, we went to Stemma. We spent the whole day in Stemma.
Before traveling back.
Yeah, before traveling back. And of course, the highlight of that journey was alcohol. Can't lie to everyone.
I don't think I partook in alcohol. I did not drink quite a bit.
It was fun. It was fun. We had fun. So
Aha.
Saturday, Sunday, after the finale at the heat,
Yeah.
we traveled to
Stemma.
Shema in Stemma. So what happens is that when we reach there, we actually found that these guys had already prepared for us.
Yeah.
It was not just the Costa. We had our colleagues in Barara,
Yeah.
people like Alvin, Elijah, Cheo, and the rest, who drove their cars, Kamji, and were together,
Darius.
Maria Mungu,
Maria Mungu.
and were together in Barara.
Yeah.
I think we, as we had a Costa, then we had like 10 cars driving, many colleagues. Yeah, there are some wags, some Tawariwa, but we had some wags in there. So we got to
I love my
Stem.
team. I don't know about that.
So
I don't know about wags, bro.
so we got to Stemma. I think there's that famous video of Flat being asked by disease.
He was walking like a guy from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So we go to Stemma. We actually, one of the reasons as to why Stemma hosted us was not just about TY, but was to just show us how agriculture is practiced. That's why I will tell you that NRL is beyond the football, because you went to the farm, goats, cows. Actually, some of our colleagues don't know anything about milking cows, but they saw some guys milking.
It was a dope time.
Fishing. We went to the rabbit farm, the Matoke plantation. Yeah, because guys were asking questions, because all we wanted to know was things to do with farming and the rest. And then after, we had to go and have fun, eat that meat, you know. Yeah, but the most important thing is that when we sat there,
and also we discovered some people's talents. Men like Mukono. We did not know Mukono was one of the chiefs at barbecue. Before you know it, Mukono is here, rabbit meat, everything.
Aside from having a hand,
what?
You know, the other day I was there chilling and some chick told me that, like, I have a hand. But then I was like, you have not seen my guy Mukono. You've not seen my guy Mukono, because that chick said, see my hand. What? When I grabbed a chico with my hand, I was like, man, first see me.
No, but I think
Mukono.
Duncan, that lady, I have absolutely no problem with that lady. I've witnessed firsthand what your hand can do. Just a few months, by the way, you see, Duncan, I came today. I was late for today's shoot. I was late, and it's true. But where was I from? You did not ask. Hospital visit. Let me tell you. In Fort Porto, at the end of the game, when they blew the final whistle, Duncan came to hug me. Brothers, I was happy that we won the game. Duncan held me so tight, I had my ribs break. Duncan, I started screaming, Duncan, leave me! Duncan, leave me! Duncan is just happy. He drove his forearm right through my ribs. I'm still doing doctor visits. Duncan, please, respect us. That arm...
No, but still,
this arm is
but you know, this arm is
it's hereditary.
It's hereditary.
I've seen your dad before. He held my hand.
You know, it's a hereditary arm. So, but now I think you said the talent of Mukono. When I came to Ntare school and they told me there was a guy called Mukono, I was like, let me first see this guy. How is he? Why do you call someone Mukono? Mukono is the district. I held Mukono's hand the first time.
I could not believe it.
I lose words. Just proceed. You guys just proceed.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
So,
know.
Yeah,
that's what
Stema was a good time.
that's what the Stema Declaration was all about.
Set,
For TY, we focus on what TY is at the moment. I know very many people have been asking, how does TY get to the final finals in a row? And I'll tell you, after season 12, the Stema Declaration
Yeah,
that TY was going to
officially
compete.
compete now. Yeah.
So there, we actually set that in 5 years, we set our strategy was about 5 years.
Hello everyone, my name is Mbaga Rodney. I am 27 years old. I am a chef by profession and I am a farmer by profession. You're welcome to Stema Farm. Stema Farm is located in Chamarari North Ward, Bugonji Town Council, Shema District. Stema Farm sits on over 120 acres with a total of 16 projects. Amongst the projects, we have dairy, we have cattle fattening, we have apiary, we have rabbitry, we have piggery, we have coffee, matoke, and a lot more. We happened to compete in the Best Farmer Awards 2017, and my mother was one of the best farmers, and she traveled to Netherlands and was able to get a wide range of knowledge that she shared with us. And so when she shared with us, it was an inspiration for us to come back to the village and re-establish the farm. So amongst the things we established was a farm guest house, because
So one of the reasons as to why many people might ask why TY has been able to reach 3 finals in a row. Which team has been on the final for 3 seasons in a
I
row?
think the max is in
There is
Shera
no
and
team that has.
Ibichuchu.
Oh, Inshera has.
No, 2 times. It was
Two-
2 times.
No,
3
it played
times.
3. It lost to Abazibu, it lost to Abashwechi, and won Ebichunchu. Yeah.
Was
It lo-
that straight times?
Yeah, straight.
Straight.
Very sure.
Which
Yeah.
means they was on the brink of history, but
How
we were
about
not.
Yeah.
how about Mchunchu?
Ebichunchu
2
did not.
times.
They
it
did
was
2
2
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means that
They played 3 finals, but in intervals.
yes.
They
So
played
so
back
for
to
us,
Executive.
one of the reasons why we have been able to reach 3 finals in a row
Yeah.
was that when we went to Stema as a group,
Mm.
we agreed that we are going to compete.
Mm.
And we set a 5-year plan.
Mm.
5-year plan.
Mm.
We were at Stema in 2022.
Mm.
Now we're in 2025.
Yep.
After that, we've been on the final for 3 seasons.
Mm. And counting.
Man,
And counting.
we are coming back.
Yeah, definitely.
So after I think the ginger season, many people are asking, are you guys coming back?
Of
Or you're
course we are.
tired?
Of course we are. For as long as I feel like,
But
and this is not hype and anything. For as long as we want to compete, we will compete.
TY will compete.
If we do not play the final, it will be a very close 3rd or 4th. Very close.
Yeah.
I feel like, and that's the thing that we said when we were at Stema, it was more of,
We have
It was
had a vibe.
yeah, it was more of, okay, we've had the vibe, we know our abilities, and we know our 60%. We possess the mostly those 60%
Yes.
of the older teams. Of course, the young teams have quite a decent number. If each of them get their players, they probably will be
Actually,
stronger than that.
surprisingly,
Mm.
at Stema, we didn't have the 60% rule.
No, we did not.
At
But
the
you see,
time.
the thing is, of course, definitely.
We believed in
know that-
ourselves, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we believed in ourselves. The players themselves believe. I feel like, because if you look at it, our best players for the past couple of seasons, they're always our 60. And that's unusual. It's very unusual to look into a team that is ably competing and the best players for the last time that they're competing are part of their team. You get. So I think for as long as, once again, for as long as we truly want to compete, we will always compete in this league.
Yeah, so
We'll always compete.
I
We
tell
have the
guys
talent.
that we
And you see that's the problem with you guys. You need to, I always ask you, please let this thing go aside and let the other activities that you do on Saturday go aside and we'll compete. But for as long as you people decide to stick to this, yeah.
So, Brad, Bottom line, what are you trying to say about a team that wants to compete?
A team that wants to compete has to, number one, and most importantly, deliberately make the decision to compete. You see, it's one thing for you to start the season and begin, because it is something that I feel like we had in the past seasons before Ginger. We had it. We would come and be like, the first game week, we are very psyched up. We're like, let's compete. But it would not happen. You win one game,
You lose one,
another,
2, 3,
and then suddenly
Guys stop coming.
yeah. So you need to genuinely seek before, have a decision and concession from the rest of the team. We're going to compete. Number two, and most importantly, have structures. Have structures.
without a doubt.
And you see, even when you look at our trajectory, the things we're excelling at, social media being first-time social media champions and defending it, it's because we had structures. We knew that's what we wanted. We had a full content team dedicated strictly to content. Even before we had football committees and everything, we had a team that is dedicated to content. So the same energy you put in that, you have to have a team for soccer, a team for your content, very separate, a team that's going to mobilize your funds,
The resources.
yeah, and a team that's going to be there to contribute money and
Yeah.
have different strategies to contribute that money, because I can 100% guarantee you there is no way you're taking this league without investing. There is no way. Who are you?
So before we proceed, we're talking to lifetime captain Mbera Brian Paul. I don't know. I've seen you with the gold medal.
Yeah.
I
Very
don't know.
beautiful gold medal.
I don't know. I
Very
don't know.
beautiful gold medal. If you
Shout
look
out,
at it,
shout out Industrial Colors,
yeah.
Blue City.
Everyone who
for
participated
sponsoring
in
this.
designing this medal, amazing. It's straight out of Olympics. If you look at it, everything is engraved. I know we won a couple of medals. They are silver medals, yes, but they count. They're not
That-
this good. This
that-
No, this was different.
this is so beautiful.
This was
Everything
different
engraved in.
medal.
It's a beautiful medal. Someone stole my medal. Not stole, but during the course of that night, on Saturday night, when we won this medal in Port Porto, someone picked it. When we were in the bar.
Yeah.
And he decided he had come. One of my good friends, Ben 10, had
Hey.
come to watch the game. So one of the friends had come with, picked my medal. And they were driving back to Masindi.
What?
In the morning when I called. So they tell me, we're in Masindi. I told them, what? Where are you? We're along the road. Duncan, you know me and who I am.
I don't know you. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
I'm not called Bolt, and I'm a mixture of Bolt and
Hey.
Cheptegei.
Yeah.
Speed and endurance.
Okay.
I chased that car. I found it on Hoima Road. I chased that car. There's no way you would tell me that I'm going to live my life without this medal.
Yeah.
There's no way. I could not come back to Kampala without this
Without that
amazing
medal.
gold medal.
And you've not showered since you began.
No, everything I've done in my life from the time we won
You've
this,
been with
I've
the
put
medal.
on this medal.
It's only a week, but I don't think people will be wanting to come near you after.
No, I've showered, but I shower with my medal.
Oh yeah.
I go to work, I go with my medal. I go to sleep, I sleep with my medal.
So we are giving you,
Everything
we are
I
giving you that
partake in.
shield on Monday.
Yes, please give me the shield.
Uh,
My employers need to know where I was.
the
but
people
okay.
at Total need to see that. Look at it out.
Mm.
But your employers need to see that you are actually somewhere
Yeah,
and you earned something.
and I earned something for it.
So basing on this conversation, it gathered that I think the STEMA declaration was
The
very
pivotal,
key in
yeah.
this. But I think talking about the structures that was Brian was speaking about.
Yeah.
So what are those internal structures that TY put in place in regards to management, in regards to like putting the team in the right state of mind to start competing? What are some of those changes that you guys probably deemed fit
So
to enable you guys to compete?
So after Ginger, after Stemma Farm, season 12, finale, we get into very many discussions. How do you compete? But we had put in place something to do with, in 5 years, we need to have at least won the shield in 5 years.
So the declaration is 2022, right?
Yes, but the funniest thing is, we had not thought that season 13
We'll play.
would be on the final.
That's the Ginger one, right?
That's the Ginger one. That explained the reasons as to why the only change we had in our team was goalkeeper. So everyone knows TY to use the brothers and what.
That's the genesis of the brothers axis.
Yeah, the genesis of the brothers axis. So we ask Danik, who is our colleague, our classmate,
Daniel, hockey champion 2014.
hard,
That guy.
to the extent that he even went to campus on government because of
The
hockey.
third runner up.
So Daniel engages his brother Kashoma of
Ntare,
Ntare.
Yeah.
I
Very
think
dope guy.
I'll tell you that when we won that finale in Fort Porto, I told Daniel, this is for you. Why?
But man, Macheda, you've told many people this.
Yes.
But
Because
Macheda
you
is
gave
not
it to
an easy man.
Stema, now you've given it to Danik, you've given it to...
Yes, because of their
This is
contribution.
for everyone, indeed, you're right.
It's their
It just
contribution.
shows the number of people who have been part
Yes,
of
because imagine from conceding 30-something goals,
Yeah.
season 12,
Yeah.
to conceding 20 goals in season 13, when
That's,
on the final.
that's the season of Danik's of Kashoma,
yes,
right?
yes, Kashoma. Season 13,
Ginger.
Daniel engages Kashoma. That is the only signing that
We made, yeah.
we made
Sure.
as TY at the start of the season
At the
13.
start of the season, yeah.
Then there in the middle, we bring
The amazing midfield maestro.
I'll tell you,
The
Sam.
captain of Ntare School League, who you
At
went
that
to
time.
Ntare School,
Actually,
Absolutely.
he slept in Imbarara at Honest
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
like 2 days, benchmarking the kid.
And
Yeah.
we took him to Stema.
You are moving.
He
Yeah.
was with us at Stema.
Yes, I'll
When
tell
we
you
made
that.
the Stema declaration, he was
Yeah,
there. As a student.
Sam was still a student
Yeah.
when we went to
He
Stema.
was.
But I'll tell you, Sam went with us to Stema Farm.
He did. He did.
You see, some people actually
It was
think,
a long term. Once
Yes.
again, long term investment.
one of the things that TY does is that we're not going to sign players with money.
So you're going to just sign people because of blood.
No, we get back to what the league is about.
Which is what?
Networking.
So you're networking with families now.
Yes, now we are giving people, we are giving everyone an opportunity to
Eh,
come and be a brother.
yeah.
Beyond playing the soccer,
Mm.
come and be a brother.
Mm.
Mix with us.
So,
Have fun,
so now,
enjoy, and
now,
play football.
just to cut you short. So now you went to school and got Sam. Why didn't you get Benjiku? And now it's now a brother's axis.
You see, Benjuku was already playing for Jabulani. And I don't think, by the Benjuku is the treasurer of Jabulani. There is no reason.
I think Macheda, you're being kind. I said that you're being kind. Benjiku is our guy. We love Benjiku. He has a hat trick in this league. Very few people have a hat trick in this league. Benjiku has a hat trick. I think he's talented. But now you see, when the good Lord comes into a family, he donates and takes.
But also,
So he donated to Jose and Sam. My brother Andy of Kabari. My brother Benjiku. He took.
No, I think now that you know those are like curtain raisers.
Leading up to
Come.
the grand stage, they
Then
come.
Sam and Jose come and they're like, okay, let's take over.
So he did not give Andy, he gave Jose.
yeah, but
He did not give Benjiku, he gave Sam. Exactly. You see the good.
Yeah, yeah.
And for us as TY,
But
we decided as a team that is loved by the Lord, Team Yaruhanga, we decided to go with what the Lord gave the family.
yeah, but also to speak about that is that Benjuku was, if you were to look, speaking about the football perspective, Benjuku would not have been the person that we needed in our team.
We had enough attacking options.
Yes,
That's
because,
the genuine truth.
because every other time
had
TY
lots
is
of
going to
attacking
sign a
options.
player, you sign a player for a reason.
Yeah.
Are we lacking in that particular position?
Yeah.
So Benjuku in his forward position would not probably.
He wouldn't have been a nice.
No, he was not going to bench Jose.
Yeah, that's number one.
Because he has to rent from TY because I couldn't bench Jose. So
And we had disease giving
we
us
had,
a monstrous
yeah,
performance
Philo,
that
yeah,
season. We had Philo, another amazing footballer. We had
yeah, because
we had
after
Duncan,
season
myself,
12,
we had Boaz,
after
we had
season
so many
12,
other people.
because Fido and Kagezi
Mm.
had told us in season 9 that unless you guys get organized,
We will not come back.
shall not come back home.
9 or 10,
The season in Kings Park. The
yes,
season in Kings
yes,
Park.
then they tell us, you guys, we cannot
Cannot
come back
This is
when you are not organized.
Yeah.
spoils beans.
The reason as to why Kagezi and Fido play at Abazibo in season 10. They play at Nshera season 11. When they're playing at in Nshera in season 11, Kevin Wrong,
Taibwa,
Taeba
Mugore.
Mugore was in Abazibo. And surprisingly,
Don was there as well. Donien.
Donien, thank you.
Daniel is now our envoy in which country again?
In Canada.
Oh my God.
And after season 12, one of the things that were sure of that if Kagezi, Philip, and Donien commit, they're going to
would be
commit.
unplayable. That's why we were so confident in our schema.
Yes.
Even when we were having the conversations, we knew
Yes.
it was bigger than what the people were watching at that time. It had been a very dominant season where we were winning, dominant half of the season, leading towards the end. But then we also knew we were going to have reinforcements. It would be like going into the market and you're buying 3 amazing footballers. And yet these are your guys.
Yeah. So one of the things that the younger teams should actually take is that it took us a year to convince
them
Kagezi
that we are ready to compete.
Firo and Donien
to come back
to TY and come and compete. So when Kagezi and Firo accept, they had accepted because every other time would get done with our game or before our game. Firo and Kagezi and Donien, they would come and watch our games and be like, you guys, you're the one.
And I also
now
think
we're ready to
something
come
that
and compete.
biased them positively is, they were competing that season. They won the season before they came back home with Nishera in Bara. And in that season, there's a game against the Bichunju. It was a serious game.
Yeah,
it would get them back into the title picture. Or
as
solidify, I don't remember if it would get them into the title picture or solidify their position in that title picture at that time. So they come to the touchline. It has rained that day. It's a game of Omujuma. We're playing against the Bichunju. The Bichunju at that time was a very dominant team.
Very Nazil, Bayern.
So they come to the touchline, they're coming to support. We put up such a beautiful performance. Boaz was man of the match that game. Despite his heavy indulgence in these items,
other co-curricular activities
in the previous night, he had a very beautiful game. He had come from Bara, by the way. He traveled from Bara that night, came and played the game on Sunday. It was an amazing performance. We draw the game 1-1 against the biggest team in the league. Here we are, a team that is just here for vibes and just having a good time. And they were on the touchline. I remember Philo being very impressed. He's like, Bagay has a Shamu Inemu like typical Philo. Yeah, typical. I think it biased them in a positive way. And then, of course, after that, we go on to win very many games. We win against Machando,
and
a team we had never beaten the whole time. We win again against very many teams. We had very many firsts after that game.
Yeah. But one of the things that I would like to say is that TY becoming TY that it is at the time is that it takes leadership, willingness, and the resilience.
Yeah.
Because the time leadership on pitch and leadership in football matters for you to win this thing. 100%. I can assure you, if you do not have this, the reason as to why as TY you put up structures was to give leadership to football-related matters.
Yeah, I think that's the part we are really lacking. Because we had leadership in everything. But that.
But when you come...
And if you notice, in the things that we had leadership and are genuinely gone out to compete for, we won. And because for us, that's what made sense. That is what we were there to do.
Yeah, so leadership...
Have a good time, you have your Alan.
Mobilize as much resources as you can.
Even if you are telling Alan to mobilize beyond TY, he will still be able to pull it.
Because
that's who he is. Of course, he will Kuberu Seke here and there. We were having a vibe and it was just a good time. Almost everyone loved us because we were there to just have a good time.
Yeah.
So just to get this straight. So you've signed Kashoma, one of the brothers axis, the revolution starts. You signed Sam after scouting him for as long as I don't remember. You bring Sam, season leading to I think Ginger, right?
The Ginger season.
Yeah, Ginger season. You bring on
now he's in
bring on Sam.
The
only thing I can remember, Sam came the very first day and guys are like,
small guy.
Kid is small.
Was it against Kabali?
Sam cooked.
No, Kabali was Gavin.
Sam cooked.
Yeah.
That midfield.
Machando
on his debut.
No.
And even us on bench were like, you know what?
Yeah.
This kid is the one.
So he started that game on bench as well.
Yes.
In pure TY fashion.
Yeah.
Because once again, they believe they are that good. They can't trust you to immediately come and start the game.
So actually the most interesting thing.
Yeah.
Sam, all of us watched him play
Jabula.
Not just in Jablani.
Never seen
Ntare
that shit
school,
before.
Ntare school, friendly match
Yeah.
with NLL
Yeah.
in Barra season
Yeah.
12
Yeah.
finale.
Yeah.
All of us, some
Gift of Kazo. Those are kids that
seemingly
put
the
on
youngest
beautiful
Mm.
and the captain of the school team,
Mm.
but also
Mm.
the brother to Joseph Musinguzi,
Mm.
who has been the
Who
top
is
scorer.
the bad man of the league? Yeah.
So Jose, I think even before he came in, Jose used to tell everyone that I will tell you that Sam is the best player that everyone of you is going to play with.
True.
Okay, what are you even talking about? But then Sam comes in January, February. I think I was up country for his debut. I was not around. I think I called Abraham and Courage. I won't be around. And the other most surprising thing is that at that time we were going to sign another brother of one of our colleagues. So meaning that in the junior season we would have had 3 guys. We would have had brothers. 3 guys who had brothers in TY. Kashoma, the brother to Danik, Sam, brother to Joseph, and Mugerwa Nick, the brother to Mugerwa. MVP.
Museveni,
Senior.
captain.
So, but for some reason, Nick didn't turn up, didn't show up. So we said Sam comes in the junior season, but when he comes in on his debut, because he turns up in that green jersey, big on him, everyone's like,
It was a very huge jersey, but,
yes,
but
on
the
him.
football was bigger than the
Yes,
jersey.
everyone's like,
You know, Sam had played before the league. He had played in
Jablan, yes.
And our
Is it
Jablani
on
brothers,
11?
once again, we love our Jablani brothers, but we had to do it. They were very convinced he's coming.
Back
No,
to
but
them.
I think Benjiku must have promised him something that Jose didn't promise him. Because how did you go to Jablani before TY?
Yeah,
So there's
when he
something
was
that
still in high school.
Benjiku did. Yes, there's something that Benjiku did.
Actually, that's
Must have done something.
COVID time. COVID time is a time. That's the COVID time when he was in senior for VAC. It's the very first time I met Sam. I was a very small boy. So he comes and he plays for Japan. I look at the kid, I'm like, what the fuck?
Benjiku promised him something.
This guy is a real guy. But you see, the reason is Jose was still.
He wasn't around.
It makes sense.
That's why.
Makes sense.
But you see, of course, so Sam comes in actually that season during COVID time. Performs very well. Everyone is asking, and then that brings about can a student of Ntare League participate in? Can a student of Ntare School participate in Ntare League?
I think it's part of the reasons why we got that rule.
So he's the reason as to why
you have to wait for VAC.
You have to wait for your vacation. But also when he's in his vacation, people ask, can a senior 4 vacist play in Ntare League? Because
but I hear Gavin played Ntare League when he was in S2.
Not about that.
Gavin, come on.
Man, Gavin is 19. I had Gavin is 19.
Gavin is a young kid. How could he have played in S2? When was this?
I'm not sure, but he must have played in like senior 2.
Because I remember
you know, at some point we weren't very structured. You get worried. The league wasn't very structured.
But you see, actually,
that's how men like Abashwechi. They won the league with one of them.
Actually, I'll tell you that
the goal scorers. The league was not so structured.
So there's a time
and strict
when I had just started NLA News. So someone in Ebichunchu comes and tells me that someone called Kamushaba Gavin is going to be a player. They were in VAC or senior 5. Like I think senior holidays.
Senior 2.
No, me I'm just so they Kamushaba Gavin, but then after I kept on asking Sam, who is Gavin? Who is Gavin? Who is Gavin? Until when Gavin joined TY.
Amazing performance. I can never forget that game against
So let's now start this from the grassroots. You've gone to Ginger.
Yeah.
You have the brothers axis, Tazimaji.
Yeah.
Kashoma. Sam.
Sam
has delivered a beautiful cameo on his debut. And he's now a starter in the team. He's the catalyst.
Yeah.
We get to Ginger. I remember that time before the final, everyone in the camp is like, these are our boys. We're going to watch them.
Yeah, because they had a decent performance
We get to Ginger.
of the season.
The boys wash us.
Mm.
1-0. Very beautiful. I think that, you see, I like, because I'm a football enthusiast, I can clap for an opponent's goal because it's good.
Such a beautiful
But
strike.
Aaron that day, the goal that he scored
Showed up.
was a very beautiful goal.
In
Brilliant.
true Aaron fashion, really. I think Aaron is one of our best.
I think in the guys that we have that
Like,
best strike in the league
really
as well,
best.
he's actually, apart from the injuries that he got that hamper him from playing, I think he took.
Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, Aaron is elite.
He took a very
He's elite,
beautiful goal that he scored in a final, a
Elite.
goal that wins a finale on
Yeah.
any single day.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, before the Ginger season,
Yeah.
when we brought in Kashoma, Aaron was at Shimba then.
Yeah, he was.
So we asked Aaron
Mm.
to come and play for TY.
Mm.
Because we were trying to. No, we asked Albert specifically.
There's this propaganda they moved together.
Wait, Albert, a defender.
Mm.
We asked Albert, can you come and play with TY for TY?
Mm.
Then he tells us, I can only come with my partner, Aaron.
But
The partner is not in that sense.
okay, yeah,
No,
sure.
he's a
Partner
partner.
is
Okay, a
friend of calling sense,
colleague, yeah. I can, you copy it out. I can only come with my friend, Aaron. But then Aaron, he has interest. He's receiving an offer from Karere. That is in the summer. Okay, the break. So Aaron, because there's no way we could compromise on. Because Aaron says, where am I going to play? I'm going to play ahead of Jose, what? Because he's worried.
But now, you see the thing about that season is, the truth is, we slept on job. Once again, TY was heavily convinced that they do not need
A striker in Aaron.
they do not need Bachuba to play.
Yes, but
So the only reason we went in the market, and the only reason we only went to get Kashoma in the market,
as a goalkeeper,
was because we had no option for goal.
yes.
So disease tells us, even before we play against Shimba, in the middle of the season, you guys need to purchase Aaron. He is the real deal. We need to add him. Remember, at this point, there is no 60-40. He can play anywhere. We can balance out the team in any way to accommodate him. Disease tells us, please, this kid. We played a game against Shimba after our reign of wonderful fixtures.
Motherfucker
Aaron
scores 2 goals.
I remember
Aaron,
Aaron,
the winning goal.
The winning goal is scored. Aaron was standing
Beautiful
at the
header.
corner flag. We were there cheating, looking for a goal.
Yes.
They launched the ball. Aaron was with the keeper.
Heads the ball into the back of the net.
With the goal.
Disease tells us, I told you guys, please,
Let's have
this kid is the truth. Purchase the kid. We are convinced with.
Some
of us are saying, yes, please, let's do it. Some guys are saying, no. We have Joe, we have Philo, he's coming next season.
Yes.
And we have you. Where is the kid going to play? It's like we'll find a way to squeeze him in.
Yeah.
Guys, for some reason, guys are very convinced they are too good. We only need a keeper.
Yes. And then, but at the back of our mind, then we say, we need a defender. Then Albert, who says that he can.
Our problem. We do not have a defender.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then
we have a defender and a keeper.
Albert says that he can only come with Aaron. But Aaron is not convinced that he can come and so we chill and go in for season 13.
Yeah.
The way we are with Kashoma as the only outsider. Then
Sam comes in later.
A
lot later.
Later in February.
Like,
February, January.
6 games to the end of the season, no, like
4, yeah. He comes in, but when he comes in,
we're already on top of the table.
We're already on the top of the table, yes. And then everyone is like, what the fuck? Who's this kid?
So one thing I remember about the Ginger finale is that here as well credits the Kalele boys in that finale.
Yeah.
Is that Kalele finale against Omujuma reminds me of Atlanta versus Bayer Leverkusen. The Atlanta coach went back home and he studied the Leverkusen team from the beginning to the end. I believe that's what the Kalele guys did. Because now,
definitely was.
Inside the TY team, Sam was the catalyst. But we forget that Sam somehow got an injury in the season, Is that the season?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. He had some discomfort. Even in the finale.
He played a couple of minutes.
For Sam to play that finale, he has like an injury a bit, but this is like
But you
your
believe in
most
him.
valuable player. He
Yes.
I
can get
don't-
something out of nothing,
Yeah.
right? So
He can
Kalele,
create
so now
something
the
out of
Kalele
nothing.
boys,
Yeah.
before the final, TY beats Kalele.
Yeah.
2-0,
I'll
hands
never
down.
forget
And
the
it was
thing.
a very convincing.
Hands
And I
down.
think that honestly, you see, when I look back, every time I look back to Ginger, I promise you guys, you reverse Ginger back in time, which is impossible. We win that final 8 times out of 10. We were a better side. We were far more dominant. We had all it took to win that final.
Yeah.
We had two things that interfered with us. Number one was playing Kalere leading up to the final. It was the worst thing that could happen to us because we were through the season, we were very dominant. Then we come and play them. Everyone is convinced they can beat them, and they truly beat them in real dominant fashion.
Yes. It was raining.
It's like the game is so nice. They barely
Disease
have
caused.
chances.
You remember
No,
that?
no, I'm saying before the game we played, before the final game,
Yes,
remember there was still like a calculator.
yes,
Ishera was playing Mugudu.
yes.
And now that's the
Yeah,
day
then they draw.
that the goalkeeper fumbled and
Yes.
Mugudu somehow
Yeah.
goes in the lead.
Of all teams,
Yes.
All the teams in the league,
interfered with.
Mugudu gets a goal against Ishera.
Our big brothers.
And then Ishera begins to pile on the pressure. They equalize.
Yeah.
Then
But
it
too
ends-
late,
it
the game
ends
ends in
1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
So by the time Omujuma and Kalele play, they're ready in the final.
No,
Not yet.
that season.
Not yet. It's
Because
actually
that's-
what
that's-
happens there
They did not qualify
is that
before.
there was a scenario between Ebichunchu and
And
Kare.
Kale that qualified
Yeah,
them
true,
now.
true, true.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's
They had
Where-
a couple of things in their
Yes.
favor that
Yes,
time.
yes, because Ebichunchu was seemingly in the final.
It was done. It just
Yes.
needed to win that game,
Yes.
which it was already doing.
Yes, but then
Yeah.
then
then Ebichuchu's ego got ahead of them.
ego. I don't want to get into the
They
names
could
of
have even drawn that
individuals.
game.
Yes, but
with that
then
Albert,
but then
whatever
they
it
walked
is.
out of the pitch.
Yeah.
But as we all know, the rule book.
I think it was
you
a
know-
boardroom. It was more of a boardroom.
Yeah, it was
final.
it was a
for
boardroom
Kare
decision because
Yeah.
if I remember very well, that's the time I had just become the general secretary of the league.
Mm.
And what happened is that the DC gives its decision. Ebichunchu, I'll tell you that. Ebichunchu leader in no, I won't talk about Petron. But the Ebichunchu appeal. Because the appeal, according to the rule book, you appeal to the council. So the council said deceive. But then even at that time, the Ebichunchu were not okay with the decision because one of the players of Ebichunchu had mobilized his players, let's walk off of the pitch. Yeah, that's the reason. Actually, that's what.
We kept on telling the guy.
Yes,
The game is still ongoing.
yes.
That
That's
game
what
could have still
put.
been one, yeah? Because Kalele had been played the whole game.
Yes,
And even the goal they would be scoring from that had
it was
scored.
just an
It was an
equalizer.
True.
And a draw was enough for Bichunchi to stay comfortably in the league.
And that
Okay, not maybe comfortably, but you have 2 games to go, a couple.
Yeah.
You win the game.
Yeah, so
Which they did.
so what they did when they walked off the pitch, of course, DC gives them 3 points, gives Karere 3 points, and Karere.
So now, still leading up to that final,
Maybe I would not actually have gone to the finale.
No, we would go. We were on
We
top
would
of the league.
see
We
where
were,
was on
we
top
were
of the league.
flying.
Yes.
We were on top. Come on. That Ginger season was a season of utter dominance.
true.
There was no one. Everyone was fighting for second position.
Actually, to the
That's it.
extent we had 2 people, not the top scorer,
We had the top scorer
but we had 2
and the
MVPs,
people
MVP nominees,
who are not the top scorer.
not
or
the
anything
top
like
scorer.
that.
We had
We had
Disease.
on the team of the season, I
MVP.
think we had about 6.
We
of the
dominated everything. We
Because
yeah.
I know Kateva was on the team of the season.
Yes.
I was. Jose was.
Jose,
Disease was. Kagezi was.
Kagezi was.
These are 5 people. It's a
5
team
people.
Of, a
Team of the
whole
season.
league.
So me,
Gigi.
the only thing I remember was after that game that TY 1-0 before the final. Emma, lifetime captain as well, the entire league. He told me one thing.
Yeah.
Whether he was sober or not, I don't know, but he told me this. We shall beat you where it
Where
matters
it
the
hurts
most.
the most. Yeah, he told me
I'll
that as
never
well.
forget that thing. Emma told me that thing,
well.
and
Yeah.
I was like, of course, me, I'm not about to like talk
Yeah.
before playing. I'm like, anyway, we shall see.
Yeah.
And long story short, we went to Ginger. After after what happened, just like you said, it was the worst thing that would have happened to Omujuma
Yeah.
playing them before.
Playing them
Is
before.
that we get into the final and we're confident that
overly
these are guys we've
confident.
beaten 2-0. So it's a sure.
Yeah.
So we get into the final. And for them, they knew as long as we score these guys first, it's a
We'll
done.
pack our bus.
They get into the final. Huntington,
They come through with 4 defenders first of
Huntington,
all. Like,
At the back.
Huntington, who plays for Ntare right now, one of their best players of the season. He actually made team of the season. A very brilliant kid.
amazing left
Yeah.
foot.
Squad
That
like
day, Huntington in the final was in a back five.
Yeah, actually.
What was Huntington's assignment? Take out Sam at every possible angle.
yeah.
Bingwa, take out Sam.
They had Alvad, they had Dawson in the back, they had Alvin here.
Yes.
That's the
What a
midfielder.
field
Who's
day.
this other midfielder?
Josh.
No,
Josh.
Josh.
Progressive
Josh.
goal.
They told all those guys, as long as you take out the midfield, it's a done.
Yeah.
That's what they did in the final.
And you know that surprises me so much because I feel like one of T.Y. Omujuma's greatest attributes is the midfield. We always win the midfield battle.
True.
But I know for the 2 finals that we battled, it happened again in Kigali. We lost the midfield battle.
True.
Disorganization here and there. We always dominate the middle of the
That's
park.
the truth. That's the truth.
Almost always dominate the middle. There's no team that wins those balls from us. I think, and kudos to Kalele for that season. They really went back. They did their homework, but then they came into the game with a game plan. It was simple. Park, make sure you don't concede, and then let's see what the good Lord does.
Yeah, because
You have a couple, because they do have a couple of talented people, and that's something that I feel like, as TY, we downplayed. We downplayed the fact that they are coming into the season with a prolific goal scorer, someone who is only 1 goal behind the top scorer, who is Jose. They have Pema, very beautiful footballer as well.
Do very many things in that football.
brilliant.
Brilliant footballer. They have guys like Alvin.
Josh,
Anyone who had watched Alvin enough would know this is a number 2. He can be defensive, but he's very good progressive. They have Hans is playing number 3, but he's a midfielder. He knows how to play in the middle of the park. He knows how to play off the wing. They had a decent team.
Yes.
The truth is, it wasn't better than our team. And I will say this over and over and over again. We would beat any team in this league for as long as we want to. As long as our people turn up, we have the
right
team
attitude and
with the right team. But that day, we did not turn up. They won the battle in the park. They won the battle in the back. And of course, Aaron's brilliance. You're not going to. He doesn't need that many chances.
That's the only chance he got in that game. When you look at that game, 60 minutes, there's no other chance that Aaron got. But just like I said,
strike.
The goal that he scored that day wins a finale on
Any
single day.
Yeah. Yes, you see, how we start that game.
And it hurts me that he wasn't on team of the season.
In Ginger,
absolute hogwash.
We start that season, we start that game in Ginger as TY internally. We knew that if we score a goal in the first half,
could have been even 5.
Yes. Yeah. But then what happens is that we're unable. We got those very many chances in the first half.
We had so many chances,
but we couldn't score.
About the first 20 minutes.
But also, what we did was we wanted to get all our best ball-playing players on pitch.
Yeah. That was a mistake as well.
It's tricky.
But then we also had misfortunes. Like people never talk about this, but people keep on.
Of course, when you lose,
why did Philo play in the back?
Yes.
In the night leading up to the final, one of our people,
left
in the morning,
5 a.m.
5 a.m. He lost someone. He had to travel back. That's the guy who has been playing our back. He's going to play the defense. The
defense,
so
yes.
What I don't know what they expected us to do. Kevin was not fit. He came on in the game.
Then got an injury. Not even 5 minutes. 2 minutes. Got an injury. Got off.
Actually, did not have options that much. Besides, maybe Ernesto.
Yeah,
but didn't have that many options.
So now you get to the Ginger Fina. Kalele takes that one. So how? So now I'm thinking. I'm asking myself. So now, how do you get back to compete again?
How we got back to compete? TY appoints a technical director. In Chapa, Henry becomes the technical director of TY.
So we've come from the Ginger Fina.
Yep.
I think you guys have now learned your lesson. You've underestimated your opponent. Your opponent has done his homework. Kalede goes on to win the shield before TY in a game that, of course, everyone thought that this is our meat. We're supposed to win this.
Yeah.
TY comes back to compete. commend you guys for your never say never attitude. Come back to compete for the Chigali Fina. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just take us through the Chigali Fina in a few. What do you think drives you? The only thing I remember about the Chigali Fina is that before TY was this ticket, the Chigali Fina, they're playing a Shimba that has been absconding games in the league. And then Shimba, through all the teams in the league, somehow get players to play in that Fina. For
The last game week of the
So-
season.
last game week of the season, Shimba somehow gets the confidence to compete,
Yeah.
right? So take us through. What do you think is like the driving factor for the team to get into the Fina in Kigali? And how do you make things happen in Kigali to maybe go into the final?
So, junior season, after junior season, then Chigari season, we put in place a technical director,
Yep.
whose role is to entirely and absolutely oversee football related matters. So we bring Henry in,
A position that he did exceeding and has done
and
exceedingly
he
well.
has done exceedingly very well.
True.
One of the signings that the first signings that he made was that he goes in and signs Mumbai.
Yeah.
That was the first signing
Such a
that he
beautiful signing. Such a
Mumbere
beautiful
cooks Kalere
signing.
on the season opener.
On his debut, season
Hey.
debut for TY.
Yeah.
he
Such a
scores 2
beautiful
goals.
signing. I have a lot to say about Mumbere. but
Mumbere comes in for that particular season. But also we internally we thought we needed a left back.
Yeah.
There we signed Collins,
Kolo. Yeah.
who joins us.
Yeah.
From
Ensai,
yeah.
From Kafubs
Ensai,
at
but
that point.
the time
Kafubs
he
at
had
that time,
been-
yeah.
Actually, he had been one of the most outstanding players
Yeah.
at Kafubs the
True.
previous season.
True. That's exactly why we went
That's
in.
why we went for
Yeah.
him. So Collins comes in from Kafubs, Mumbere comes in. Then also Kashoma says that he wanted to join the army. Bro,
Yeah.
this league, as much as you're focusing on football, career, money, they are very important.
True.
Yeah.
So when Kashoma indicates to us earlier before the season starts
That he won't be around.
he won't be around. So
We
started
break
looking
the
around.
bank.
Yes, we started looking around. What do? We need a goalkeeper. So we actually just Henry, our technical director, but we give him options of the goalkeepers. I, as the coach, I remember I gave him different options. Nkurunzi was there, Dalton, the so-called missing piece at the moment, and others. But then we reached a point and we agreed, and we have Nkurunzi. So Henry,
I think
goes in.
it was a no-brainer.
yes, and then he
I feel like
makes
he is
sure-
one of the very best.
I think he's one of the best
Besides,
goalkeepers in the league.
you see, and people banter him quite a bit, but I think he is, if not one of the very best, the very best.
Yes,
He's a very
He's such a short
So
stopper.
you know when I was
Such a
when I was
beautiful
saving his
goalkeeper.
contact in my phone, I just saved him as Mr. Safe Hands.
Yeah,
Because
he
I
is
didn't
so
have
good.
anything. I didn't even need to know his name.
He
or
is so
anything.
good. Truth is, he's
yeah.
so
So,
good.
so on top of
So
Mumbere,
good.
Henry,
Yeah.
our technical director now, goes ahead, sign Nkurunzi
Yeah.
as a goalkeeper for season.
For that
14.
14.
He comes on. So thereabout, we are looking at the backup for another signing for our striking, because we never know. Joseph might get a job up country, because when we started thinking about winning, we're looking at many scenarios.
Yeah.
Joseph might get an injury.
Mm.
When he gets an injury, what happens? But if he gets a job up country, what happens? Okay, that was before the 60-40% rule comes in place. Then we signed Timo.
Such a beautiful footballer.
From Kasasi, right?
Such a beautiful
He had
footballer.
played his previous season in
Most-
Kasasi.
Yeah.
Most versatile player in the league.
Yes.
I must say.
Yeah, he had actually
That's
played
Such a
half of the
beautiful
season.
footballer.
He scored 6 goals.
Yeah.
Half. Is it even half? Yeah, he had scored like 8. Scored 6 goals. He comes in and we bring him as a backup for our striker. But also, we also recall and remember that we had a problem in our defense. For some time we chased Bayern, but as we all know, the dynamics of the league, seduction, what. Bayern joins us, then he leaves us at the last minute. We let him go. But
Bayern, he's now Mogole. Congratulations to the big
Yeah,
man.
congratulations.
Yeah, sure.
Bayern.
Oh, he is a Mugole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mogole.
Yeah,
Proposed.
he
Did
introduced
things
yesterday.
the other day. Yeah,
Ah.
He was
yesterday. I think,
introduced,
yeah.
he introduced yesterday.
He was
Congratulations, Bayern.
introduced.
You are a boy. So he decides to go to Kabari.
Mm.
But when he decides to go to Kabari, someone tells us there is someone you can actually bring. I remember internally, because I'm the one who had tried to convince Bayern to come to our team. Then all of a sudden he doesn't come. Then guys, they're like, the player you tried to bring, he doesn't come. But then someone tells me there's someone. His name is Pedro.
Just Sam. Must has to be Sam.
So Sam says that.
Has to be Sam.
Sam says that.
All our perfect signing.
Yeah,
It
so
has to be one person.
Sam says that we have a defender. His name
Mm.
is Pedro Jose.
And he'll get the job done.
But you see, when Pedro Jose, before he came in, I remember internally in a TY budget, we are not included what his money is going to be like. So we talk. Then we bring Pedro Jose for our first match against Kareri.
Did wonders.
So that match he wasn't supposed to start. I think someone comes late. Owen or Yusuf.
One of them.
Then Pedro Jose starts that game. His first touch. Everyone in the league,
Everyone on the bench and the league said,
not just on the bench, but in the league, said, "Where does this guy come from? Who is he?"
no Mutuba.
Actually, some come and ask, "Is he an OB?" But I'll tell you, Pedro Jose comes in, even when he was not in the budget of TY. Pedro Jose, TY accepts, incorporate, or inculcate his transport and his allowance in the budget. That's how Pedro Jose comes in TY. He comes in, Pedro Jose, best defender of the season.
Sure.
On his debut.
No doubt.
He's on team of the season.
No doubt.
Pedro Jose.
Yeah, the monstrous performances.
Yeah, changed everything in our defense. One, able to cover, good in aerial balls, is able to move the ball progressively. And I think that's one of the things that we are looking at as TY. But remember, I will tell every one of you that we had brought in Pedro Jose as a central defender. But then what happens? Pedro Jose comes in and excels in right back. But we say, let's have him to grow in the team and understand the league. But by the time we realize that you can actually shift him to central defense, Akaraina kana katera wing, Kadani Alves. So Pedro Jose cements his place in TY team, and those are the people that you get in the team. You have Timo, you have Sam, you have Collins as a left back, you have Pedro Jose, and then you have a goalkeeper in Ukulu.
And then I'm thinking, in the summer of the transfer window, that's when you bring Gavin, a senior 3 chap.
So
put him inside the team there.
So Gavin,
take us through that.
So Gavin that season was in senior 6.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So he finishes his senior 6
during the course of the season.
Yeah.
At the same time that
2023
Sam joined us in the previous season.
Yeah.
The same time that Gavin came.
So as TY, because we are heavy on talent and always looking out for the most upcoming youngster. So someone tells us, this guy has been good.
Pogba.
His name was he was nicknamed
Pogba.
So at the time, Sam comes and convinces us that this guy can actually come and.
So yeah, you were still telling us about how you made very instrumental signings to the season leading to the Kigali final.
Yeah.
And so now we just want you guys to take us through how did things transpire in the Kigali season, what really happened, and then what actually didn't go to plan in that final.
So one of the things that what TY does not sign players just for just. We sign players for a reason. Because we have a football committee whose role is entirely to look at the football related matters. And this is supervised by the technical director. And under the technical director is that we are going to have the coach, captains, assistant coaches, and everyone. For every player that is signed at TY, the coach, assistant coaches, captain, them all under technical director, they must be in sync. There is no way a player is going to be brought in TY when the TD, coaches, and the captain are not aware of what it is, of what that player is going to bring on board. The idea is that we must create an environment where all of us are aware of the decisions that we make, so that at the end of the day, all of us are accountable to what we do at TY. So for all players that we have signed as TY, season 14, season 15, Kigali season is a final. We didn't win. I will only say that the reason as why we didn't win as TY is because we were unlucky. But the good thing, we came back, won the Crichton Cup.
Yeah.
So that's how it has been.
So Brian, what do you think was very pivotal for the Kigali season? Maybe just take us through a snippet of what happened during the season, and then maybe what probably went wrong for the Kigali final. Just in a few.
I think for me, once again, TY has always been a footballing team, like a footballing year. We have quite a bit of guys who are really good, I won't lie. But like I'd said, previously we had Ginger was unfortunate. And most of Ginger's undoing is because of ourselves.
True.
It's us. I don't think, and as much as I would like to credit Kalele, it wasn't more to do with them, it was more to do with us and what we did not do leading up to that final. So we were very aware of that. When we lost the final, everyone sat down. We were sad because we had lost it to one of our biggest rivals, if not our biggest rival. But we were very sure that we can do this again. And we can do it again convincingly. So we led into going into the Kigali season. We make a decision that now, you know what? Let us reinforce even more, like Macheda had said, so we get a lot more people on board. So at that point, I felt like it became more of, it's inevitable that we shall play the final because we're already very good. And then on top of that, we've brought on the very best that we can find in the market. And a lot of consistent performances. So we had a lot of consistent performances once again in the Kigali season. Very nice performances, but then we also had the resilience, but then most importantly, we had the belief in ourselves. Like I'd said, everyone going into Ginger believed we were going to win. There's no one that thought we were not going to win. And everyone after Ginger still believed we were going to win. And luckily enough, we played Kalele in our very first game of the season.
Beat them 4-3.
Halftime, the game is 3-0. Once again, TY boys go back to their default setting. It's just Kalele. The mood is now back into the chill mode. Like we can beat anyone.
It's a sure.
Yeah. It ends the way it ended. We still win the game. Win against a team that just won against us in the Shield.
The
It's a monstrous performance. We have Mumbere on board. We have everyone on board. Those guys are firing left, right, center. So my ticket, if you ask me what our ticket leading into Kigali was, we had Mumbere. I think
scoring 12 goals.
I think he had an amazing season.
Very beautiful season.
He had an amazing season in terms of numbers, but he also had an amazing season in terms of impact.
Yeah.
To the game.
Yeah, because
Then we have
just to speak about that, there's a bullshit game that we had.
Yeah.
We were 1-1.
Yeah.
I take off Mumbere for a few minutes. Then, after like 5 minutes, I realized he's the one that we needed. I bring him back on, but also I take off a midfielder. I bring back Mumbere on. He comes on, scores 1 goal. The second goal, the winning.
It ends 2-1. Yeah.
We actually scored.
We actually
go ahead. Yeah, we actually go ahead to score the 3rd goal.
Yeah.
That changes everything because at that time we're playing only 2 defenders. Because in my mind I was like, it was a risk. We take a risk. Mumbere comes on, scores that.
I think Mumbere that season he scored for us so many crucial goals.
Very important goals.
Yes.
So many match. His impact on that pitch. Honestly, I don't think I can do this podcast without talking about Mumbere.
Yeah.
It was so
Oh
important.
God, oh God, oh God.
His performance in the Chigali season was so important for us in terms of numbers, sheer numbers,
And
but then
impact.
also impact on the games, especially the games that were a hard nut to crack.
Yeah.
He did us very good. So we had amazing performances. We had amazing signings in that season.
Yo,
Pedro Jose gave us a clutch
just to,
performance.
just to get you inside there. You know, I can't forget to speak about Nkurunziza. Just like
Yeah.
you said,
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
his only problem in the entire league is listening to what people tell him.
Yeah.
I
feel
think
like he
that's
gets-
like
yeah.
the biggest problem he has in this league.
He does.
But just
yeah.
like we said before, he's like
One of the best
greatest goalkeepers that this
entire
league
league.
has
I
Yes.
genuinely think he is the best goalkeeper in the
because
league.
I think for TY to go to
He's
that
been
final,
consistent.
in Kigali,
Yeah.
aside from Mumbere, they went there because of him.
Yeah.
I remember
lot
the
of-
game.
Nturi gone.
I remember
Nturi
the game
1-0.
against Nturi.
Yeah.
TY guys went to sleep.
Yeah.
Still 0-0.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Jose had scored the goal already.
No, not yet,
he
not yet.
hadn't
Jose
scored
hadn't
yet.
scored the goal yet.
Yeah.
And Nturi guys are 2-on-1 on the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
All of us are there, our mouths are open like this.
Yeah.
Man cuts the ball on a minus
That's
to the
what.
striker.
That's 1v1 save.
And now, when Nkurunziza is in the goal, as we're still there, all those guys who are hating on TY
Yeah.
stand up to celebrate.
Mhm.
But Nkurunziza stands up and the ball is under his stomach.
Yeah.
And
And he
like,
starts a counter attack
he
immediately.
starts a counter attack. I'm like, what in the heavens is this?
Yeah. I think
So
majority.
I think
yeah.
in all
I
the
agree with you.
goalkeepers that we have had
Yeah.
as TY, as the league,
Yeah.
no wonder there's a time TY played a friendly against Chapa.
Yeah.
They told me what he did. I wasn't around that
Yeah.
friendly, but so I heard the things that he did.
You see,
So I think
Nkurunziza was very instrumental to our season leading up to Chigali.
Chigali.
And I think he had very consistent performances.
very.
And like you said, he just has a lot of people saying what they
he
want to
still has
say.
a lot of demons in his head.
But the truth is, he gave us consistent performance after consistent performance after consistent performance. There are very many games that you've not mentioned. You've not mentioned the Inshera game.
Oh,
Amazing saves in
that
that game.
1-1.
Yeah, it was a 1-1 game.
Wow.
Beautiful performances. So for me, if you ask me, our Chigali season is just a combination of a lot of consistency.
True.
Until the very end. Once again, the thing about TY is they know that they know football. Yeah. And it cuts across. Everyone feels that way as long as they're playing for TY. So once again, we get into December, as it has always been for the last 3 years. We're on top of the league.
On the table.
We are
Flying.
we're flying. Everything is going good. We get into the last games of the season. We play Abazibo, we lose. We play Kasasi, we lose. Now it's suddenly a problem. There's suddenly a problem. And you see, the thing about those games is going into those games, it seemed like all you needed was like 1-2 wins, and that's it. It's the end of the season.
It's done.
But we have a game in the middle of the week. We play Abazibo. Some of our guys don't show up.
They
Filo
don't show
does
up,
not
yes.
play that game. A couple of other guys don't play that game. It was a public holiday in the middle of the week. We're trying to beat the deadline.
Then we come
to
back
play
on Sunday.
in,
We are tired. We play
Chigali.
Kasasi.
We play the
Kasasi.
Abazibo game. We lose the game.
Yes.
We play the Sunday game. We win it. But then we play the next Sunday game and Kasasi.
The
beats
Sunday
us.
game after that was inside 4-0 win.
Yeah, we win the
4-0
game
win.
and it's pretty decent. It's a nice performance. But once again, I feel like TY people are always there. They're the biggest force pushing us forward, but then they can also be our biggest shortcoming.
You see,
Because they have too much confidence.
You see, when Mugera says that they are the biggest push, I'll tell you that the TYs, the fans of TY are the best you'll have on planet Earth. They will push you, give
And
you
they will take the lose with you.
Yes, give you the resources, but then when you lose,
they'll suck it in.
of course they'll be like, man. Sometimes
Wanoga.
they'll be like, sometimes the energy is, maybe they even come back and say captain, coach. But at the end of the day, whatever the criticism is to the best of the team.
Yeah. It is.
And what I can say is that Chigari season after Fort Portal, the most important thing was about hard work, belief, and resilience.
True.
If TY never had hard work, belief, and resilience, you would never have been to the Chigari finale.
Yeah,
Also,
that's true.
would never have been at the Fort Portal finale.
But
Belief,
I feel like
resilience, and hard work.
Resilience. One of TY's biggest strengths is the sheer fact that there is no one who plays for that team that doesn't think we can win against any team.
That's the
And
thing.
I feel like it's a positive. It's mainly a positive, but sometimes it acts as a negative. Sometimes it does. You can see in a couple of performances in there, they underestimate this opponent. They do, but the thing is, what cuts across almost everyone is the sheer fact that they believe they can beat anyone, no matter how much they have. Because for the longest time, I had a couple of guys would tell me, you know what? Do you know that if they put up this select team against us, we would still get a performance or a result out of it?
Yeah.
And they're very convinced. Like the person telling you this is probably he has spent majority of the season drinking beer. He's not even playing games, but he is so convinced that he can be able to deliver a result against a select team.
You see, I think many people have asked me for a long time, what do you think you as the coach bring to TY? I've always told them that TY is a team full of very talented and brilliant guys.
Yeah.
The only thing that I bring to TY as an individual is leadership, motivation, and resilience. Because if we did not have the leadership for the last 1, 2, 3 seasons, we never have reached any finale. If we are not resilient as much as possible, because I know for a fact that people within our squad who felt that, man, this is the end. But the ability to motivate people who are talented, and they believe they are talented. You see, one thing that we need to know is that when you're motivating people who are talented, and at the same time your age mates, it's one of the hardest things. One of the hardest things. There's someone who was asking me that, how come that you and Katana have been one of the most long-serving coaches in NRL?
Katana Shera, yeah?
Katana Ovunshera. Because every other team has a coach, but after 1 season, 2, 3, they're gone. But then when I made the other tweet of about 5 years ago, 2019, I was like, what? But it was about the fact that when people believe in you and they accept that you are going to do a few things, they're going to believe in you, you're going to motivate them, and they are going to have belief on what they want. Then you're going to reach wherever you want. So those are the 3 things: belief, motivation, and resilience. That's what I've been able to add on to this multi-talented team of TY.
As we wrap up this segment of the video, we will not forget to talk about one of our key sponsors, Bongo Hardware.
Bongo, best price.
I think just in case you're looking for hardware materials for your building, Simanya Iron Rods, all that fleet that only Bombeka can tell you about.
And financial services as well.
Financial services.
You're sorted.
That is the guy for you to go to. But then, as we wrap up this segment, I think it's only correct for us to only play the jam that actually inspired us to the next video that we'll be making about the road to Fort Portal.
Yes, Omujuma. Yes, Omujuma. Yes, Omujuma. Yes, Omujuma. Yes, Omujuma. Yes, Omujuma.